Good evening, welcome to Q Weekly on Bent TV, Channel 31. I'm Amy Henderson. We've got a great show for you tonight. We'll be talking fetish fashion with Mistress Tan, and we've got our regular segments Q Health and Q Calendar. But we're kicking off the show tonight with our regular segment, Q Cuisine. Take it away, Lee.
Yummy.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Q Cuisine for tonight. We're here with Paul, and what are we making tonight, Paul?
We're doing coq au vin, which is chicken braised in red wine and vegetables.
Sounds tasty.
It is lovely. You haven't heard of it before?
I haven't actually, no.
Look, it's a French dish. Okay, so it's quite involved, but we'll see how we go. Okay, chicken in red wine. Okay, so to begin with, we need some vegetables. Okay, so we're going to have some carrots. So I'm cooking this for 12 people, okay? So I'm not big on recipes, sort of more by sight.
If I ever tried to do this, I know I'd cut a finger. I'd lose at least one finger.
So that's part of the excitement.
Well, that's true. I suppose if, you know, adds a bit of flavour, a couple of crunchy bits.
A bit of flesh.
Yeah.
You can leave the vegetables really chunky, or you can dice them up like this. So it depends on what you prefer. But it's a braised dish, so it's just a matter of really putting everything into a baking tray and baking in the oven for about 2 hours.
Is there any tips you can give, while you're cutting up onions? Any tips you can give on how to not get the watery eyes?
Goggles. Here we go. Got some goggles.
Well, did you want the goggles?
I think I need goggles situation. Very upset now. Oh. Camera. Look, tears.
See, people wonder why I don't cook.
Oh.
It's heartbreaking work. Right? Oh. That would be the red wine?
That was the red wine, reducing. But we're not up to that yet. So we've got vegetables, some extra veg olive oil, some celery in there. So carrot, onion, celery. All the rabbit food, huh? Thyme, lots of fresh thyme. Okay, there's our vegetable base. Carrot, onion and celery. Chicken here. Now this chicken, it looks a bit ghastly, but it's been marinated in red wine overnight. Okay, so you can use the joints of chicken, or you can use the chicken breast. Okay, and what we're going to do is just flour the chicken breasts and then pan fry them till they're golden brown. Now what we actually do, the red wine from the chicken that's been marinated overnight, we drain that off and we just reduce it down. Okay, so we've got our vegetables, we've got our chicken marinated in red wine, we've got our red wine poured off into a pot and reduced down, and we also have a couple of litres of veal stock. You see what's in there? Okay, so it's veal stock, and we also have some bacon.
So the bacon you don't actually dice up or anything?
No, they're really nice chunks like so. You can also use Kaiser flies, which is a whole piece that you can cut into little cubes. Okay, but we don't really have that at the moment. And some mushrooms. about 5 mushrooms per person. Here it is. Okay, so what we've done here, as you saw before, we placed the vegetables in. We placed the mushrooms, bacon and sealed chicken, filled up with our red wine and our veal stock, and now it's ready to go into the oven for about 2 hours. Okay, but what we do here is we line it with some grapefruit pepper, and oil. And into our oven for approximately 2 hours. On 180, is that better? On 180 degrees, yeah. Crank it up. Cheers.
Oh, that smells amazing.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
So it's still a bit stewy.
So a bit chewy. You can reduce the sauce so it's a bit stickier, but that's the sort of look you're going for.
Okay.
A complete meal. And lovely to serve it with some mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, mashed potatoes or maybe whole potatoes.
Okay. Yeah, that looks awesome.
Beautiful. Coq au vin.
Cock of what?
It's a beautiful sauce. You can see it doesn't need much reducing actually. It's come up really well.
Yeah.
But you can use like the joints of chicken, so the thigh and the leg.
Okay.
Because the breast can dry out, but it's come out really well.
Alright. If you like the look of that and you would like the recipe, as always, feel free to email Paul on lenoury@bigpond.net.au. That's Lenoury. Have a good night, viewers. Catch you later.
Thanks very much for that, Lee. Nothing like a bit of coq au vin on a Monday evening. And what a perfect segue to our next guest. I'm joined in the studio by Mistress Tan. Hello.
Hi, Amy. How are you doing?
Good. You're looking very amazing tonight.
Oh, look,
I
this
feel
is my-
positively underdressed.
It's my regular Saturday afternoon sort of a attire.
Yep.
Why
Nothing
not?
special? You didn't get dressed up for
I
us?
just threw it together.
Now, you're from Hush Now.
That's right.
And we got you in today to talk about the annual fashion show that you do at Hush Now.
That's right.
And we've got some footage that was taken at Hush Now of the fashion show. And this happens, this is your fourth.
This is our fourth
I
one
believe.
for the year. That's right. Well, fourth in 4 years. So we do one a year, and it's just a fantastic medium for new designers, fetish designers from around Australia to come and show their wares, as you'll see in some of the footage. Which predominantly it is fetish, but we get a bit of everything.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I was going to ask that. What determines if there's lots and lots of different fetishes out there, so what determines a fetish fashion?
I suppose things that aren't necessarily predominantly mainstream. We did have, in the past, we've had different designers come in that have free-flowing, one-size-fits-all, sort of, I suppose, what we'd call pretty vanilla.
Yeah.
So we try to, I don't know, it's open to any new designers. If it's something a little bit different, that's great, but if it's mainstream, that's okay too. But we predominantly attract, the latex, the leather,
Yeah.
the PVC, all the people that like working with I suppose, fabrics and products that are a little bit different. So there's some amazing gear, beautiful
That's right.
colours.
Well, there was, of course, we all think about leather and latex and things like that when we think about fetish, but there's more to it than that. Like some of them in there, there was one made of lollies, I believe.
That would be Jojo. Jojo's from Phillip Island.
That's
and she's such
fantastic.
a character. She's an artist.
Yeah.
She does tattooing, and her outfits, I mean, I think this year she had one out of hot water bottles. And last year she had
we had
pink
footage of
thongs
that
and-
too, I think.
That's right. So she's very artistic in all the different things she designs. They're more, I think, an art piece.
There it is. There's the lolly
There you
one
go.
right there.
Yeah, that's JoJo doing her thing. She's great fun.
Oh,
So-
makes me hungry.
You know, they're actually all stuck on and glazed. I asked her if we could rip some of the lollies off. But the other thing I asked the designers to do is make the designs for women of all sizes, all ages. So it's not just tiny little ladies, it's bigger ladies. So with the corsets, it's nice because it can give you a bit of a curvaceous sort of a figure, which is great. It's very sexy.
I love corsets. Do you get a lot of corsets? They're quite hard to
do.
make though. The other thing, I'm looking at some of the costumes, using leather and latex and stuff. Wouldn't that be very hard to construct an outfit?
Look, I asked the designers. I don't sew myself.
Yeah.
I just buy it from them.
You just wear them, look gorgeous.
Absolutely, it's great. But from what they tell me, the PVC, which is what I'm wearing, PVC, it's shiny and it looks great, and it's actually pretty affordable in comparison to, say, something made of leather. You're looking at hundreds and hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars.
So does that mean it's more affordable to buy too, if you were going to buy a fetish
Absolutely.
outfit?
I suppose PVC, you're looking at between $100 and $300 for a corset, just as a rough guide. And then if you're looking at leather, you're up into the $800-900 to $1,500, depending on how elaborate you want it.
Wow.
So yeah.
And of course corsets, we think about that too, and I was saying to you before that we tend to think that it's all about women and women's fashions and corsets, but there's a lot. I saw quite a few guys in that clip.
Yes.
So it's not just for the girls,
No.
there's lots of fetish stuff for the guys.
No, look, in this scene, which is fantastic, the guys are made a focus as well. There's a new designer called Ruth from Straker, and she predominantly designs male clothes, which looks fantastic. Another designer is Neo Zero Ken, or Gothic Prince Ken. He does beautiful garments for men, so it's really great. Slowly at Hush Now, we're seeing more and more designers doing things for the guys. The same as Moggie's Toy Shop, excuse me. They also do beautiful long jackets. They work with leather, lots of buckles and silver. And you know, I think personally that Melbourne's the kink capital of Australia, because we're trying to get all the designers to come to Melbourne once a year and have the Fetish Fashion Parade and make it a bit of an icon here.
Yeah.
So it's getting bigger and bigger each year, which is great.
Fantastic. And then of course once you get your wear, you've got to wear it out somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, I brought a few friends with me today, and we ride our Harleys and ride our bikes around Melbourne, and we ride around in Australia now and then when we can hook up and head on out. So there's different places you can wear your gear. There's different lifestyles of people that are all intermixed in this scene, which is really nice. They go from,
Crosses all borders.
That's right. Where people think that it's primarily just for, I suppose, fetish or kink people, we get a lot of people at the club from all walks of life, as you can imagine, from solicitors to accountants to just, mums coming along wanting to role play just for a few hours.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in and showing us the fantastic fashions. And we
My
should
pleasure.
actually mention your website if people want to check out Hush Now, and it's a great idea for new designers to get their stuff seen.
Absolutely.
So your website?
It's www.hushnow.com.au.
Great. Thanks so much, Mistress Tan.
Thanks a lot, Amy.
And we'll be back with more Q Weekly after the break. Welcome back to Q Weekly on Bent TV. I'm Amy Henderson, and right now I'm joined by Steve. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming in, and we're glad to have you because you brought us something.
I have. On last Monday, I went to Bingo Candy on Greville Street.
At the Candy Bar?
At Candy Bar, and I was presented with a $475 check from fundraising that they did for Bent TV.
Fantastic. Oh, I was about to say, what did you have to do for that?
You'll have to know. But no, I just wanted to thank them very much, because they do a lot of work for fundraising for not only charities but community groups and including our good selves. And they're in the ranks. They've been going for 4 years. They're in the ranks of those venues that do a lot of fundraising work for community groups and such as our good selves.
So they chose us to do some fundraising for.
Yes, they did.
That's
Over the last 4 years
fantastic.
they've been running, they've raised over $10,000.
And did you actually go to the bingo night?
Yeah, I'll go there heaps. It's great.
Oh,
It's
great.
fun.
Well, thank you very much to Candy Bingo, or Bingo Candy,
Bingo
I should
Candy,
say.
yes.
And now it's over to Q Health with Vic and Dr. Ben Yu.
Thanks, Amy. Hi, I'm Vic Perry, and welcome to another edition of Q Health. And of course, welcome again, Dr. Beng New from Market Clinic. Now, tonight we're going to cover HIV. Now, we can go on for hours and hours on HIV because there are sort of so many issues to do with HIV, but we won't. We will do that over a few sessions, but tonight we'll just do the very basics. Now, unfortunately, there are still people who don't know the basics, and even the simple question of what is HIV.
I suppose it's a good idea just to start back from the basics again. HIV is the virus that causes HIV infections and AIDS, I suppose, which was discovered some years ago. And I think it is important when we're starting to talk about this, I think we need to go back to how people can prevent it, how the virus is transmitted, before we start talking about the details about the illness or anything like that.
So what does HIV stand for?
It's a human immunodeficiency virus, and obviously it's just a name given to the virus when it was discovered in the 80s. And basically it's a blood-borne virus, so it's a virus that's basically transmitted from person to person through exchange of body fluids, whether it be blood or semen or something like that. So I suppose that's something it's worthwhile keeping in mind, that it has to be transmitted from person to person. It's just not the sort of thing you can catch from somewhere else, and all those myths about
so
catching
you can't
it from
catch it off a toilet
seat, the pool,
or a coffee
all that
mug
sort
or
of. That's right, exactly.
Right.
You can't quite catch
and
it
it
that
is
way.
A blood-borne virus, meaning that it has to be blood to blood. So even kissing someone or...
Yeah, it has to cross over. So I suppose when people talk, a lot of people ask about kissing, and that brings on things about oral sex and stuff. But generally kissing, there's no exchange of fluids. You have saliva, but then as long as all the membranes are intact in your mouth and everything, it doesn't really cross over as such, I suppose. But potentially, if people are bleeding or something, or they've got cuts in their mouth, then potentially there can be some crossover. So, but it's I don't think I've ever heard of anyone that thinks they've picked it up from kissing ever.
Right, so when you look at the stats over the years of how people have caught it,
yes,
there really hasn't been any cases of someone catching it, say for instance by someone giving or receiving oral sex.
No, there's nothing definite about oral sex either. Again, oral sex is one that's thought of as low risk. And again, potentially there can be a risk because if someone has semen in their mouth and they've got a cut or something, it can enter. We've probably got a handful of people that think they might have picked it up that way, but it's very rare generally. So generally it's still transmitted through unprotected anal or vaginal sex. And basically, I suppose that's the bottom line. That's still the most common way that people pick it up.
Yeah. And is that a definite thing as well? I mean, or even then, it's not necessarily 100% guarantee. Not that I'm suggesting that that's okay to do, but it's an increase in risk, but it's not necessarily 100%.
It's the highest risk, but it doesn't mean that when someone does it, they'll pick it up straight away. It depends on lots of factors. Depends on what the sex is like, how long they have sex for, how much fluid is transmitted, their body's immune system, how much virus is in the person that's already infected. So there are lots of factors that come into play anyway.
Now, getting back to HIV and someone, say, living with the virus, now that's quite different to AIDS, isn't it? What's AIDS and what does that stand for?
I mean, AIDS was actually just classification from the 80s, and it really applied to people who were actually had acquired immune deficiency syndrome, so people who are quite sick in hospitals with infections and stuff like that. So we've stuck to that classification where AIDS really defines someone with a very lowered immune system, for example, presents to hospital with PCP pneumonia, something like that, and they classify as AIDS. So I suppose it implies that someone's health is probably affected more by the virus than someone who's just infected with HIV, where they have the virus but they're essentially healthy.
And so a person with HIV can be healthy, like can live
definitely. I mean,
for a number of years.
And I think, as far like you know too, like nowadays, I think a lot of people with most people with HIV are basically healthy, working in community, just doing things like everyone else is anyway.
So it doesn't necessarily lead to AIDS.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. And especially nowadays with all the treatments and stuff, I think we're more hopeful that we can manage HIV for much longer periods, and people might not develop AIDS for long periods of time.
So it's become a chronic sort of manageable
much more
disease.
manageable sort of.
But there are still issues though with treatments, isn't there? So we don't we can't sort of make light of the fact that.
Well, exactly. You don't want to minimise it too much, because it's still a serious condition and it can still lead to AIDS and ill health and everything else. And some people don't react to medications well. Some people actually succumb to the virus much quicker than others. So it's still a serious condition. So it's still something you'd rather prevent.
So we'll talk more about treatments another time, because that's certainly a lot more that can be covered there. What about so people with HIV? What about discrimination? Is that something that's still an issue? That stigma and discrimination?
I think it is, and discrimination on several different levels. I think on personal level with friends and family and all that. I think a lot of people feel quite discriminated against, and also obviously on like professional work levels and stuff. And I think because there's a lot of misunderstanding about HIV, and one thing is about how it affects your health, and secondly, people make judgments about who you are. I think if someone's HIV positive, they wonder why, and people worry too much about how people contract things and all that. So yeah, there's a lot of discrimination about still. And
we'll probably talk more about that another time as well. We're sort of running out of time, but for people who do want to get more information about HIV and AIDS or treatments, people who want to know about the various services, because there are a lot of services out there for positive people and as well as people at risk or who just want to know. You can call the Victorian AIDS Council Gay Men's Health Centre. That's it for Q Health. Thanks, Beng, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks very much for that, Vic and Beng. And now for our usual look at what's going on around Melbourne, I'm joined by Elizabeth Blast.
Amy.
Lizzie.
Good evening, and good evening to you out there. Q calendar for this week. This is what's happening around Melbourne around about now. Are you well today?
Yeah, very well, thanks.
I've got to ask her. Okay, now in Chadstone, down here, I mentioned this last week, Chadstone, there's a Bear Cub movie screening. And that's Out Video and Accent Film presents an exclusive screening of the Bear Club. This screening will be the uncut version.
Oh.
Uncut. With the graphic sex scene at the start. Unlike other screenings you may have seen advertised, this Thursday the 26th of May, 8 o'clock, tickets available from Out Video only. You can't go to just rock up and get your ticket. And Vic Bears, or you can get them from vicbears.org.au. Tickets will not be available at the door, like I said, and they're $10 each. And the proceeds go to Vic Bears and Joy Melbourne.
Oh, I like the Bears. Do you like the Bears?
I love the Bears. They're one of my favourite groups of all time. Cuddly, snuggly, and extremely friendly, in my opinion. Right, Chadstone again. Sticking with there again. Lots of things happening in Chatty this week. Okay, all lesbians are welcome to join the fun in the Lynx Car Rally fundraiser. Now, have you ever been? Call Wendy on 0427 631 803 or Diane on 0425 710 780.
And you can pretend you're in the Amazing Race for about an hour.
Yeah, until you crash. Fitzroy, over here, lovely Fitzroy. I love this, Homo Rock. There's a new night starting up at the Rob Roy Hotel.
I'm sure you'll be there, Lizzie Rock Chick.
Yeah, Homo Rock, Rob Roy Hotel, corner of Gertrude Street and Brunswick Street, and it's from 9 p.m. Starts this Friday, May 27th, and like I said, and it includes the B-Dolls, including Matt Thomas and Andrea Vendy from the Mavises. You remember them?
Yeah.
They're one of the bands who are on the bill. So check it out. A new music scene happening. Rock out. Okay, Kensington, which was around here somewhere. Lesbica. Say that right, Vic? He's nodding. No, he's not. And Italian and Gay are holding a fundraising dance party. Ooh. May 28th, this coming Saturday in Kensington. I'm not sure of the address there. I got no details, but you can call 0412 868 438 for more details. And $15 full, $12 concession. Get along there and support Lesbica and Italian and Gay. Cabaret show with Rocco D'Amore, live bands and DJs. Fantastic. Melbourne, which is there. Melbourne, the Castan Centre for Human Rights Law is holding a forum for same-sex marriage. This Thursday, 26th of May from 6 p.m, Monash University Law Chambers, 472 Burke Street, Melbourne. That's for a forum on same-sex marriage. If you're interested, want to get hitched, want to get spiced, rock up. Collingwood. I'll say it's there. King Victoria's 5th birthday.
Oh, it's going to be big.
King Victoria Drag King Extravaganza is happening this Friday, celebrating 5 years of King Victoria, with the likes of Maurice Valentino, Scone Bot, Spam, my favourite mystery meat, Shirley Billing, Rocco D'Amore, Mr. Mojo, Stanley Nice, and much more. DJs, this Friday, May 27th from 9 at the Star Hotel, 176 Hoddle Street in Collingwood. That's all I have, Amy.
Wow, no, that's not all you have. Why don't you give yourself a little plug?
I have a radio show.
On Joy Melbourne.
Tune in on a Friday afternoon and listen to us yammer away.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks, Lizzie. Don't forget to watch Face to Face on Thursday nights at 10:30 on Bent TV. And keep watching the same time next week for more Q Weekly. Bye-bye.